Hey everyone. Ever wondered about acupuncture and its role in fertility and all that pregnancy stuff?
Hmm.
Well, we're doing a deep dive today.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, into some research from the Berkeley Center for Reproductive Wellness.
Yeah.
They've been using acupuncture alongside the typical Western medicine,
Right.
to help couples conceive and have healthy pregnancies.
So the Berkeley Center, they're really well known for this integrated approach.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about picking one or the other,
Yeah,
like acupuncture or conventional medicine. It's more about using both.
gotcha. So they're not saying ditch your doctor and only do acupuncture.
No, not at all. They work really closely with fertility specialists and OBGYNs,
Okay.
seeing acupuncture more as a way to boost the effectiveness of those other treatments.
I see, I see. So what kinds of infertility challenges do they actually work with at the Berkeley Center?
Like a pretty wide range.
Yeah.
Things you see a lot in infertility clinics,
Mm-hmm.
endometriosis, PCOS, low sperm count,
Oh, wow.
even some more complex stuff. It's
Right
like
on.
high FSH levels or, poor egg quality.
Okay, so they're dealing with the real deal,
Yeah,
not just minor fertility concerns.
exactly.
And I read that they claim to be the first center in the U.S. to actually specialize in this whole integrated approach
Right.
to reproductive health.
Yeah. That means they've been at the forefront of this field for a while now,
Mm.
over a decade, treating tons of patients
Yeah.
and constantly refining their methods and techniques.
Wow.
Yeah, if you're looking for real expertise in this area,
Right.
they've got a ton of experience to draw on.
That's good to know. It's reassuring. Now, here's something that really surprised me. The founder of the Berkeley Center used to avoid putting needles in the abdomens of pregnant women.
Yeah.
Why is that?
It might seem strange now,
Yeah.
but it comes from this long-held concern in traditional acupuncture
Okay.
about too much blood flow to the embryo or the placenta.
Mm-hmm.
There was this worry it could make miscarriage more likely.
So for a long time, the abdomen was a no-go zone during pregnancy.
Pretty much, yeah. But here's the really interesting part.
Okay.
They now actually suggest abdominal acupuncture,
Uh,
especially in the first trimester.
Wait, so they completely flipped their view on that.
Yeah.
What
Huh.
caused such a big change?
Basically, years of research and observation,
Right.
they started to question the traditional way of thinking
Okay.
and did studies to see what effect abdominal acupuncture actually had on pregnant women.
Mm-hmm.
What they found really challenged those old ideas.
Okay, now I'm really intrigued. So we need to talk about the hormonal changes that happen in early pregnancy, right?
Right.
To understand this shift.
Yeah.
Progesterone's a big part of that.
Huge, yeah. So after ovulation,
Mm-hmm.
the follicle that releases the egg changes into this thing called the corpus luteum.
Okay.
It's kind of like a little factory that makes progesterone,
Okay.
the hormone that helps thicken the lining of the uterus and get it ready for implantation.
And this corpus luteum, it needs something to tell it to keep making progesterone, right?
Exactly. And at first that signal comes from a hormone called luteinizing hormone,
Mm-hmm.
or LH.
Right.
It's released by the brain. But here's the fascinating part.
Okay.
Once a woman is pregnant, the developing embryo,
Mm-hmm.
we're talking very early stage here,
Gotcha.
that embryo takes over the signaling role.
So the tiny little embryo is in charge now.
You could say that, yeah, it starts to release a hormone called human chorionic gonadotropin, or HCG,
Okay.
which is very similar to LH. That HCG basically tells the corpus luteum, hey, keep making that progesterone, we need it.
Right.
This whole process is super important for a healthy pregnancy.
Okay, so I think I see where this is going. Is this where acupuncture comes in?
You got it. The Berkeley Center's research suggests that gentle needling in the abdomen
Mm-hmm.
during that first trimester
Right.
can actually help with healthy blood flow to that developing embryo.
So it's not about stimulating the embryo directly, but more about creating a good environment for it.
Exactly. And by helping that blood flow, they think acupuncture can help the embryo make more HCG,
Okay.
which in turn keeps that progesterone factory going strong.
And that's key to preventing miscarriages, especially early on.
Exactly. They've seen a big reduction in miscarriage rates in their patients who have abdominal acupuncture during the first trimester.
Wow, that's amazing. But it sounds like acupuncture doesn't stop there.
Right.
What about after the first trimester?
Good question. So around week 6 or 7, the placenta starts forming
Right.
and takes over progesterone production from the corpus luteum.
So the placenta is the new progesterone powerhouse.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But even though the placenta is running the show now, healthy blood flow is still super important.
Right. So even when the placenta takes over, we still got to make sure it's getting everything it needs to work right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Think of the placenta like this amazing life support system, constantly sending oxygen and nutrients to the baby and taking away waste products.
Okay.
If blood flow to the placenta gets messed up, it can't do its job.
And I know the Berkeley Center mentions thrombophilic disorders
Yeah.
as something to watch out for. What are those?
So thrombophilic disorders basically mean like you're prone to getting blood clots.
Mm.
And if a blood clot blocks a vessel in the placenta,
Right.
it can really restrict that important blood flow.
So like a traffic jam in the placenta's delivery system.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. And the Berkeley Center uses this term debris.
Debris.
Yeah. That needs to be taken away from the placenta.
Okay.
It really gives you a picture of how crucial it is to keep things moving smoothly.
Right. So how does acupuncture actually help with all this?
By encouraging healthy circulation,
Mm-hmm.
acupuncture can help open up those blood vessels,
Mm.
improve blood flow, and
Yeah.
even prevent clotting, like clearing out those roadblocks
Gotcha.
and making sure the placenta has a clear path to deliver nutrients and remove that waste.
So it's not just about getting pregnant. It's
Right.
about supporting a healthy pregnancy the whole way through.
Exactly. And the Berkeley Center is really dedicated to this idea of support throughout the entire pregnancy.
Their approach is so comprehensive.
Yeah.
They're not just focused on one problem.
Right.
They're looking at everything.
And it's what makes them so unique.
Yeah.
They've used their expertise in acupuncture and applied it to every stage,
Oh, wow.
from getting pregnant to pregnancy itself,
Mm-hmm.
and even like postpartum care. A truly holistic approach.
And going back to those findings about abdominal acupuncture, it makes you wonder what other like hidden gems are out there
Yeah.
in the world of alternative medicine.
Totally. It's a good reminder to be open-minded and curious.
Mm-hmm.
Just because something is traditional or old doesn't mean it doesn't work or it's outdated.
Right.
There's still so much we don't know about the human body
Mm.
and how different therapies can affect our health.
It's like we're always finding new possibilities.
Exactly. And I think the Berkeley Center represents that spirit of exploration.
Yeah.
They're not scared to challenge conventional wisdom and really dive into the research.
And that questioning attitude is what made them completely rethink their approach to abdominal acupuncture.
Yeah,
It's inspiring to see that kind of dedication to learning and getting better.
absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good lesson for all of us, really.
Yeah.
We should always question what we think we know
Mm-hmm.
and try to find the latest information, especially when it comes to something as important as our health.
So it's about being proactive and informed,
Right.
not just accepting whatever we're told.
Exactly. It's about empowering ourselves with knowledge
Mm-hmm.
and working with our healthcare providers to make the best choices for us.
And I think the Berkeley Center's success shows how powerful that approach can be.
Yeah,
They've created this space where traditional medicine and modern science can both exist
right.
and actually help each other, leading to better results for their patients.
It's a model, I think, that has a lot of promise for the future of healthcare. Imagine a world where we seamlessly combine the best of both worlds,
Right.
using ancient wisdom and cutting-edge scientific advancements together.
Finding that balance where tradition and innovation meet.
Exactly. And who knows what amazing discoveries we could make if we embrace that open-minded approach.
It's kind of wild to think something like acupuncture could have such a big impact on fertility and pregnancy.
It really shows how connected everything is in our bodies,
Yeah.
and how powerful these ancient healing methods can be.
And thinking about the Berkeley Center's approach, it makes me think about something we haven't really talked about, the emotional side of all this.
Oh, you're right. Infertility and pregnancy, it can be such an emotional roller coaster,
For sure.
full of like hope, anxiety, everything. And the Berkeley Center seems to get that.
Yeah, they're not just focused on the physical stuff.
Right.
They recognize how emotionally heavy these experiences can be.
Exactly. And I think that's where their holistic approach is so important. They're not just treating a condition. They're supporting people going through this really personal and often tough journey.
So it's not just about getting pregnant, it's about feeling supported through the whole thing.
Exactly. And that can make a huge difference for someone trying to conceive or dealing with anxieties during pregnancy.
I bet just feeling heard and understood can be so healing.
Absolutely. Yeah. When you feel like your doctor is really listening to you and taking your concerns seriously, it builds trust,
Yeah.
and you feel more confident in the treatment plan.
And that trust is so important,
Yeah.
especially when you're dealing with something as sensitive and emotional as fertility and pregnancy.
It's all about creating a partnership
Right.
between the patient and the practitioner,
Hmm.
where they're both working together towards the same goal.
It's not just about the needles or the specific points. It's about the whole support system around the patient.
That's a perfect way to say it. It's about the entire experience.
Well, I think we've covered a lot today.
We have.
From that research on abdominal acupuncture to the emotional side of fertility and pregnancy, it's been a fascinating deep dive.
I hope our listeners have a better understanding now of how acupuncture can fit into reproductive health
Yeah.
and the importance of finding care that's holistic and supportive.
And maybe even some inspiration to look into different approaches and advocate for their own well-being.
That's what we hope for,
Yeah.
empowering ourselves with knowledge
Right.
and being proactive about our health journey.
So if anyone's interested in acupuncture or integrative medicine, don't hesitate to ask questions, do your research, and find practitioners who you connect with.
Exactly. And remember, there's no right answer for everyone when it comes to healthcare. It's about finding what works best for you.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Thanks for joining us on this exploration of acupuncture and pregnancy. We hope you found it informative and maybe even empowering.
Absolutely. It's been great sharing this info with you all. Keep asking questions and keep exploring the world of integrative medicine.